Hi Tim, it's nice to be here with you in Punta Cumplida, in el Faro Punta Cumplida in La Palma.
Hello Isabel, yes, welcome to La Palma, to Barlovento and to Faro Punta Cumplida. I'm happy to be here with you.
It's a pity that we are not able to speak in Spanish and German. Ich spreche kein Deutsch.
Yeah, y mi español es muy malo. So English is the best compromiso.
Great. So, Tim, really you have opened and successfully run 4 lighthouses, Faro Punta Cumplida in La Palma, Faro Punta Imperatore in Ischia, and 2 of them more in your homeland, Germany. A Hafenkran, a grúa portuaria in español, in Hamburg, in the port, and a water tower in Germany. But my question is, how did you start with this adventure? Because before you were in another completely industry, which was máquinas de juegos recreativos, the gaming industry. How did you get the first impulse to start with this adventure?
Yeah, this is a long story, and of course not a planned coincidence, but as often these things just come by chance and happen step by step. And being a director in the gaming industry, working with the gaming machines and also with Spain, it was our most important export country. I had a lot of difficult customers, and it's a difficult product also. And one day my father showed me a lighthouse that was for sale in the newspaper and said, "Tim, you always liked lighthouses so much, we had to walk there in every holiday, and here is one for sale on this wonderful island in the Baltic Sea. Isn't this something for you?" And then I thought, oh, interesting, very nice. And I really got on it, convinced the community, the mayor, and was able to buy this little lighthouse in Usedom. And together with my wife, who is an architect, we converted it into a very small hotel for 2 people. And when this was achieved, we thought, well, either it's interesting for the people, we like it, so maybe other people like it, but if not, then we have a nice holiday home, and that will also be good. And it was very successful. We had 200 bookings on the first day, and the whole story is 15 years ago, and since then it has never been empty. So it is always booked. If you want to book it today, you can only book for 2024. And so I found out lighthouses are very desirable, very positive places, very good products. So now the circle comes to my gaming. I found out I can also work with a much better product than the gaming machine. And one day I decided this is more my passion and more my future. So I changed from the gaming to the lighthouses.
What a nice story. But obviously you said that the first lighthouse was fully booked, and then you have to wait 1 year to go. But this was I link it to my next question, is that clearly you have broken like the main rule of economic of profitability, or what they say, that for a hotel to be profitable, you have to have more than at least 10 rooms. But you have this accommodation have from one suite, like the Grúa Portuaria in Hamburg, to 4 bedrooms is the maximum, I think. No, you have. What is the point of success? Apart, of course, I think you said already that is a key product. It's a very desirable product. It's unique product, but probably this is what it makes it different.
Yeah, it is all about the lighthouse itself. A lighthouse is such a dream item. Everybody had the desire to go to a lighthouse when he's on holidays, to have his walk there, or even to sleep there. So it has such a high attractivity to stay there that it is possible to sell it every day in the year, to have 100% occupation. And if you have no season, no difference between weekdays and weekends, you can sell on a very high price, or quite high price. A room is around 300 euros at the Baltic Sea, 450 in Hamburg. So it's a quite high price, and you can sell 100% occupation and have a system to maintain it and to operate it with a housekeeping lady that is always there for the breakfast and for the cleaning. Then it is possible to make a profit in each one. And if you have 5 or 6, it's possible to live from it. But I can tell you the rules of economics still exist, and the people who say you must have at least 10 rooms, they are right. It is much easier life to have 10 rooms in one building and have some weeks off in winter than to operate in 5, 6, 7 places, a lighthouse, which is almost like a ship in the storm. The salty water is destroying the windows, and the people are lonely, and it's difficult for logistics. And it has a lot of problems and a lot of difficulties to run it. But of course, it is also beautiful places, the most beautiful places in the world, actually. So that covers everything and makes it the best hotels and the best work and the best projects that I can imagine.
Just before we made the interview, you received a telephone call that they announced that you have internet after 15 years. How is this?
Yeah, it's. I mentioned it to you because it really took 15 years to get internet to the lighthouse at the Baltic Sea, our first lighthouse. So until just 20 minutes ago, we marketed it as detox, digital detox, and it works, and it's true. People like to be disconnected and like to leave their laptop at home and not read their emails for a day. So even though I received the call that now the internet is connected and after 15 years the line is going into the lighthouse, I'm not so sure if I open it, because I still think this is the deeper reason for the success and for the beauty of these places, that you completely disconnect and see things from above. You have a few hours that are not full of meetings, and it is a place where you don't need internet. So now I have internet, and also here in Faro de Punta Cumplida, we even have fiberglass, glass faser, the fastest internet, which is fantastic. But I am not so sure if this is the main feature of the lighthouse. I think it is nice to have, but maybe I also take it off here after the interview. I don't know.
I think we need to switch off, so I think you should not switch on internet. I think you should keep as you were, because things were going well, so don't change anything. But now you have already the keys. You have told me, and you have also in your website, that you are going to open 5 other lighthouses. Yeah, 2 in Asturias, the Faro Cudillero, el Faro de Ribadesella. Another one, el Cabo de Trafalgar, perdón, el Faro de Trafalgar in Cádiz. Espignon in Venice, and you have another one in the Trinity Island, but it didn't happen. And this is what I want to ask you. First, how can you manage? Because I know this is a nightmare to deal with these authorities in Spain, and in Italy can be probably the same or even worse. And you haven't thrown the towel. And I have the image of you to be the Don Quixote fighting with these authorities. How do you manage to continue?
Yeah. It is a nightmare, and it is also a challenge, of course. And for me, and I think for many people, it's always attractive to conquer the most difficult things. The most beautiful things in life are always the most difficult to achieve. So I think for me, the lighthouses are the most beautiful buildings. They have this energy, this power, this fantastic position with the ocean, with the nature, with the history behind it. They saved people, so they are, in German you say Kraftplätze, they are locations of power, and everybody can feel it. I can feel it when I'm there, so they are the most attractive places. And I accept that it is the most difficult way to get them. It's the same with a woman. The most attractive women are the most difficult to get to know, and the same with cars and with other things. But for me, the most achievable is these lighthouses. And so I really conquer against or with, we can say, port authorities and other authorities. You don't believe how many authorities are involved in a lighthouse license and a lighthouse opening process. And some of these processes are a little bit more easy, like it was in here in Faro de Punta Cumplida in Canarias in La Palma. Actually, it was easy, and it still took 4 years to from the moment of the first visit to the opening, 4.5 years. And then there are lighthouses which are real battles, like Faro Trafalgar near Cadiz. It is like the Battle of Trafalgar. It is costas, it is puertos, it is patrimonio and turismo, and it is they are all the presidents all in different political parties, so they fight with each other on my lighthouse. It is like a theater, and maybe one day I write it all down and make a film from it, and probably also this one day can be opened, but the good luck is I'm working on more or less 10, 11 locations at the same time, and one of them, good luck that I have, is always overtaking the other difficult ones, so once in a while I can open one, like Ischia in March. That is the next one to be open, Faro Punta Imperatore in Ischia, and at the same time, we can finally start our work in Cudillero, so that will then take half a year. So in the middle of next year, Cudillero can be opened. So it is battles and successes at the same time that makes the Don Quixote horse ride on, and me somehow sitting on top of it, surviving, because there are so many good moments around the lighthouse business that they overshine the stress or the fights, and yeah.
But what happened in Italy? Tell me what just happened in Italy with this lighthouse that it's not going to happen at the end.
Yeah, I can tell everybody who listens and thinks that the Spanish administration is complicated and maybe even corrupt and so on. And I also think the same about the German administration, but I can tell everybody that it's nothing against Italian administration. It is really more difficult and complex, and for me many times not understandable. And in the Spanish laws and requirements, I always see a small reason why they do so, and this reason is lost, I think, in many processes in Italy. And one of these concessions that we won in a big competition, in a big concurso, we lost in endless law cases because another competitor somehow knew the Italian system better than us and took away Faro San Domino from us. I don't know, I hope he gets happy with it. He didn't open yet, even though it's 2 years ago. The process, the law case took 2 years. It cost so much money. It was so frustrating. But at the same time, in Ischia, we succeeded, and we are very happy with that. And as I said, some communities, some environments are positive, like Canarias in Spain or Campania in Italy, and some were not so helpful, like Apulia in Italy, or maybe it was not so much Apulia, but the central court in Rome. But this is, you have to have this projects and success projects is normal.
The Don Quixote of the Faros. And just for maybe the last question, I want to ask you, because I have this curiosity to know, how do you find the nice people that are running and managing your places? Because you don't speak the language, you don't speak Spanish or Italian. How do you find these people?
Yeah, that is a good question. I also wonder somehow how do we find them, because there is no real strategy behind it. It's not a acquisition process, assessment centers for lighthouse keepers or something. But in the end, you're right, we find extremely motivated and very self-motivated and very good organized people who work for us. And I can tell you the best of all is here in Faro Punta Cumplida, Pili. She's working for Faro Punta Cumplida from the first day of opening, and doing it so well. In the middle of nowhere, she organizes candlelight dinners. She is connected to the local carpenters and service. So I don't have to organize everything from Berlin. And at the same time, she's like a 5-star concierge to the guests. Every guest writes into the guest book how warm the welcome was, how good the service. So she manages to find the balance between very good service, and in the end we are not a 5-star hotel, we are something very special, and this special feeling comes over, the spark comes over, and that is our secret, how we find these people. Actually, it is very, very, very good luck, and we are happy with each one of them, and I'm very sure we also have a fantastic crew for Ischia, and for Riba de Sella and Cordillero it will be the same.
Yeah, I think that probably you have a secret, but it's part of your human side, which helps as well, I will say, to find these nice people. Because, to be honest, this is always a key point, because it's difficult to find the right people to, especially because they are always in very remote places.
Yeah, it is a key point. I could not sleep if there was no reliability and no trust. And I know every of our lighthouses is cared well, and I can go to sleep without being afraid that the heating stops next morning, there will be no breakfast or no cleaning or no laundry. I know I can trust each one very much, and that makes the whole concept possible. I can conquer the most difficult buildings, but they are not worth anything if there would not be these people to operate them and to make them what they are.
Thank you very much, Tim, for this time you have given to us, to this Gran Hotel Rusticae, this podcast. Thank you for having me here, and maybe we can go for now to the restaurant in the corner, more or less in the corner, for a nice fish.
Yeah, it's Willy, the former fisherman in La Gaviota, one corner around from the lighthouse, and we will enjoy the fish, and maybe first we go up on the top, because from there we can see his restaurant and the Atlantic Ocean and the volcano and the whole island.
It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Tim, thank you very much.
Thank you, and meet you maybe in Ischia or Cordillera or Ribadesella the next time.
I'm looking forward. Un beso y nosotros nos vemos en el próximo capítulo de Gran Hotel Rusticae.